and good evening, people. So, as promised, I welcome you all to Thai Talks Season 2. And here today with us, we have a lovely guest, and our guest for today is Dr. Kusum Kanwar, who is the founder of KKKids Learning System and also the founder of Addupskills. She is the National Core Committee member for APER, that is the Association for Primary Education and Research. And today, she is going to share with us her views on a very insightful and interesting topic, that is mindfulness in education. So, all my dear educators, tie up your seatbelts, and I'm handing over to Dr. Kusum Karwa. Ma'am, kindly take over and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Miss Harsha, and namaste. Greetings to everyone. Thank you, and the wonderful Thai team, that is the team of Ignited Educators and Enablers, for creating this significant platform to speak on the power of mindfulness. And I would speak specifically, in early childhood education, even though we need mindfulness throughout education. So, congratulations, Miss Harsha, Dr. Bhumika, Ms. Mona, and the full team, my sincere gratitude to this reverence and invitation. So I'm speaking on mindfulness in early education, and welcome all the viewers, everyone who's listening to me, because there are a lot of takeaways for all. Whether you're a teacher, you're a parent, any other professional from any industry or any walk of life, this will be many. Firstly, the takeaways will be many, and firstly, it all starts here with us, so pertinent and important, bringing us into the present with so much going around, which finally impacts our children's well-being, of whom we are sometimes not even aware of how it's affecting them. So the new learning ecosystems and the new learning biospheres that are going to be the new normal needs mindfulness to be implemented simultaneously, because it cannot go differently, like, okay, only academic nourishment and nurturing and nothing on mindfulness, or nothing on what I'm going to be talking about. So we say that there is the need of mindfulness in education, and it belongs here with us as educators and parents. So we all believe that the function of education is to bring about an integrated individual who's capable of dealing with life as a whole. However, I would like to believe that before you can deal with life as a whole, you have to deal with yourself as a whole. Child education has done very well to engage our brains and sometimes our bodies. Nevertheless, we are still at large in education when it comes to actually teaching us how our minds work, chiefly in relation to emotions. So the 21st century learning skills, we hear it all around us, right? So somehow we are not thinking of teaching, how children's minds work. We need to teach them that, and mindfulness can do this. That's one of the reasons why I strongly believe mindfulness belongs to us in education here. And if it belongs to us here, we as early childhood educators and teachers need to be equipped first. So what is mindfulness, and why does it belong to us in early childhood? Do kids need it? Do children need it? So from earliest moments, as per researchers, mindfulness can help minimize anxiety and increase, happiness, joy. So mindfulness has the power at each at each developmental stage. It can be a useful tool for decreasing anxiety and promoting happiness. So mindfulness is a simple technique that emphasizes paying attention to the present moment in an accepting, non-judgmental manner. So how many of you are doing this at this present moment as well? Being in the moment and not thinking of anything else when I'm speaking, right? So mindfulness has emerged. That's why we need to be here. So need to absorb what is happening here. Not that we are here, and because mind is like that, it just wanders. So that happens for children as well. So, mindfulness has emerged as a popular mainstream practice recently, which is being taught to executives at corporations, athletes in the locker rooms. It's about time it is increasingly taught in early years, both at home and in school, as early childhood experiences are carried through to adulthood for all of us, as we all know. So, why we need mindfulness in early, childhood? As adversity comes at us from the moment we are born. Infants get hungry and tired. Toddlers grapple with language and self control. And as children develop through adolescence to become teenagers, life grows ever more complicated. Developing relationships, navigating school, and exercising independence. There's a very paraphernalia of growing up naturally creates stressful situations for every child. So, habits formed, as we all know, early in life form behaviors that lead to actual actions in whatever actions we do in adulthood. And with mindfulness, we have the opportunity to give our children the habit of being peaceful, of being kind and accepting. So, for children, mindfulness can offer relief from whatever difficulties they might be encountering in life, said by Anaka, an author who teaches mindfulness to children. It also gives them the beauty of being in the present moment. As adults, too, we are either living in the past or thinking of the future, and children embody this from us. So, part of the reason why mindfulness is so powerful and effective for children can be explained by the way the brain develops and is constantly developing throughout our lives. So the connections in the prefrontal circuits are created at the fastest rate during early years, and being mindful promotes skills that are controlled in the prefrontal cortex, right? Like focus and cognitive control, which therefore have a particular impact on the development of skills, including self-regulation, judgment, and endurance during childhood. So that's the power of mindfulness. Now, mindfulness isn't something that needs to be outsourced. Right, for parents and caregivers, the best way to teach a child to be mindful is to embody, right? For the parent or the adult, represent the practice ourselves. So, for all of us as early childhood practitioners, we need to embody it. How do we do this? So, practicing mindfulness isn't an enrichment program. It's not another long line of extracurricular activities to choose from. And we know early experiences and learning have a supreme effect on children in later years. They need to be able to not only cope with the challenges of the world, but hopefully to make positive changes themselves. And any positive change we make out there, it begins in the early years here with us. So for these children, learning to calm and control themselves, to manage their behavior and emotions, to be ready for new learning environments and the changing biosphere, these aren't extras, these are super essential. So let's do a mindful we can do a mindful activity on how adults in our life respond to us, right? Or responded to us. Now, just for a moment, imagine that you're a 4-year old. So imagine you're a 4-year old and you're on the ground and you're building a tower and you're really proud of this tower that you're building. Now, the next minute, he comes running along and kicks over your tower. You are fuming. You feel these feelings bubbling inside you. You feel hurt and panicked and you're frustrated and you're helpless. And just in that moment, an adult comes in close and gets down and says, "Sweetie, what happened? What happened, dear?" And you see in those eyes compassion. You feel, their calmness, and then all those feelings come bubbling out. Feelings of frustration, of anger, of helplessness of the moment. And then this adult says, "Yes, tell me all about it." Yes. Ah, yes. Tell me. Nonetheless, the adult doesn't try to fix it for you, right? Doesn't say that you don't worry. You can build another one, and it's okay. And you don't cry for these little things. So the adult just lets you feel all that you are feeling, and then they open their arms and you snuggle in, and they ask you to take another deep breath, and then you feel better. And then you get back to rebuilding your tower again. Profound? Yes. Remember, it was for you, as that 4 year old. And perhaps at a time when you felt angry or sad or scared, or you didn't understand what was going on. Now let's take it further. How did the adults in your life respond to you generally? You can journal it. Now, for most of us who are, fortunate, the adults in our life would have given us lots of space to express how you feel, to listen to those worries and pains, and not trying to fix what was going on, right? However, perhaps for the many who could have had the opposite experience, we would have been told, stop being stupid. You don't need to cry. Grow up. You don't cry for such small things. And if you cry more, I'll put you in that room or go and stand in that corner. Or it's okay. It happens. Sometimes you might have been sent to your room or to that corner, as a punishment because you were angry and showed frustration and outrage possible. You might have even been hit for making a mistake. So why am I mentioning children and the feelings? Because your early experiences in childhood are carried to adulthood, positive and negative. Now, these experiences, uh, you know, these are mindfulness is in our everyday pursuit of life, and from the day we are born, and how the responses of adults around us and around children, it impacts them, and that's how mindfulness comes to work. So is it hard to practice mindfulness in early years? I would say it's as easy as a bear hibernating. So imagine you are a bear hibernating for the winters. So when bears hibernate, they take long, slow, deep breaths, and in and out through the nose. So try this. Take a long breath in through your nose, let it all out. Take another long breath in through your nose and let it all the way out. Keep breathing like this and feel how relaxed and warm and safe you are in your cozy bear cave. You can try it with children. In another scenario, this is how teachers lead the first minute of a class, for senior kindergartens. Say, you can just imagine, all across the country, the room becomes calm. The teacher is able to start the lesson on time with focused attention of the students. Always keep bite sized mindfulness, short, kid friendly practices. When they are done consistently, can be powerful tool to help our children lead healthier, happier lives. They're simple to do. They take very little time and they cost nothing. In a world that's increasingly fast paced, where children are barraged with media and screens, where they have less and less downtime to just be, bite-sized mindfulness exercises help. And it could be, first, the bear hibernating for winter exercise. Another example could be, we take a cup of hot chocolate, but it's too hot, right? Hot to take a sip right now. So we blow on it and cool it off. So we take a long breath in and we blow towards a hot chocolate. We repeat that 6 or 7 or 8 times, all the time, bringing back our focus to the hot chocolate. Okay, so we can even take a big, beautiful flower. We are curious how it smells. So we bring it up close and we take a long sniffing, let it all the way out. We repeat that 5 or 6 or 7 times. Simple, right? We're trying to smell the flower and we're sniffing at it. So that's all about, bringing the attention back to the flower or bringing that attention back to the hot chocolate, right? So these bite-sized mindful practices for children and us too, these help. So they can teach children fundamental skills. First, even to ourselves, right? How to calm ourselves, how to focus and pay attention, how to manage your behaviors and emotions, and also how to practice compassion and kindness. They can also help children cope with and release anxiety and stress. Anxiety, yes, a serious problem if carried to our adulthood, and because it feels good, because it works, right? So in mindfulness, the key is consistency. Like any other skill, consistent practice is the key to its effectiveness, and paying attention is a skill. It's a learned skill. So we constantly ask children to pay attention, right? We always say, pay attention, get back your focus, but do we teach them how to? And we don't have them practice it as well. So the act of paying attention over and over to our breath coming in and out of our bodies, if this done right, it teaches children to pay attention to other things as well. So this consistent practice means a power for families, attaching it to something in the routine that you already do every day. And we are all aware that children thrive on routines and schedules. So teaching these 21st century skills like self-awareness, like self-regulation, which is managing your behavior, your emotions, and practicing social and relationship skills like empathizing, showing compassion, kindness, respect, all this can be taught by just practicing mindfulness. So, can we just call it sending good thoughts? I practice this with children myself and practice it myself too. We breathe in, we breathe out. And as we continue breathing like this, I ask the children to think of someone they love. Picture that person in their mind. It just gets more effective. And so let me conclude it by sharing a simple popular mindfulness movement that can help. That's just stop. As simple as that. STOP, stop. So the S here, stop, is just take a momentary pause. Stop, no matter whatever you are doing. T, take a breath. Feel the sensation of your own breathing, which brings you back to the present moment. Observe. Acknowledge what is happening for you. Is it good or bad, inside or not? Just note it. Proceed. Having briefly checked in the present moment, continue with whatever it was you were doing. So, dear audience, we are talking about an approach that can be implemented in every home and in every school, even online, tomorrow morning. Now that we know the power of mindfulness, need to know to start sharing this essential gift. The power of mindfulness with children in your lives now, the power of mindfulness in early childhood education, and in love, joy, mindfulness, and gratitude. I thank you very much, and namaste.
Lovely, ma'am. I would say this talk was full of positivity and calmness. In fact, I did not know when this minutes got over. I was so much into that talk, and I promise you to practice that stop technique. I'll practice it myself and do pass it on to my staff and my teachers, ma'am. So, all in all, we talked about mindfulness. How does it connect to education? and mindfulness as a tool that helps us being in present, which is much more needed in these tough times. How it gives children relief from anxiety and negative
Absolutely.
behaviors, and
Yes.
how negative emotions of the early years reflect in adulthood, and so we
Yeah.
as educators need to practice mindfulness and to pass it on to our students, our kids. And especially early years matters, my dear teachers and educators. So with the promise to practice mindfulness and to pass it on, I thank you, ma'am, for being with us on
Thank
this
you.
show, and with a promise of being with all of you next Tuesday. Here is Mona Bhatt signing off, and thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you. Anytime for mindfulness.
Thank you, ma'am.